In this video, traders, we're going to look at managing your focus expectations. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. So what I mean by managing your focus expectations, this is an interesting topic that I really wanted to cover. Spend 5 minutes with you talking about this because I feel that too often, and myself included, we put ourselves under so much pressure to perform that we actually forget that we're human beings, right? We think we've got this unlimited supply of energy, of focus, of discipline, of strength, of resilience, and it's just not the case. Listen, I know you're watching this because you are the type of person that wants to be a high performer. You want to be the very best at what you do. You probably succeeded in various things you've done. You set high standards for yourself because trading attracts that type of character. We want to be the very best. We want to push and push and push and get uncomfortable and do all those cliche kind of things. But that's just because we enjoy the process, right? However, it's time we kind of took stock and said, okay, especially with trading, we are not superhuman. And the thing about trading, guys, is that if we acknowledge that, the results get better. It's like a miraculous thing. When we acknowledge that, okay, we can't be sitting there all day long. I'll get to this in a second, this is the focus thing. We can't sit there all day long and perform if we're day traders. We can't stick to every single rule like a complete robot. We can't be without emotion. Once we recognize that and put in allowances for it, the trading results improve. It's such an odd situation, but it's so true because we're so strict and like, listen, we've got to do this, we must do that, we must stay focused throughout the day, we must do this. And when we deviate from it, we go, oh, we blow up inside and go, well, I should have been doing this and doing that. And we get frustrated and angry and we go down a complete other rabbit hole. I've talked about things like this before. But when we acknowledge the fact that at some point, focus, for example in this video, is going to dwindle, we're not going to be able to focus as well as we can do, then we start to put in things that allow us to appreciate that and adapt with that. So on the theme of this video, and I don't want to kind of go too broad with this, but you can see how it applies to various areas of trading. Managing your focus expectations, specifically as a day trader. You come in, and specifically as well, guys, as a trader in Europe, because I know that we're lucky and fortunate, and maybe in the US as well, slightly differently with Asia and stuff, but I know that in Europe, we're very fortunate in that I think it's the perfect time zone to trade. I think it's brilliant. You know, we come in, we've got the DAX, we've got the FTSE, European indexes are opening at 8 o'clock, most of UK time, depending on where you are, in the morning, should I say. Then you've got that session. Then you've got the US opening at 2:30, if you're talking UK time, UK closing, DAX closing at 4:30, running up till 9 o'clock. So you've got a good kind of nice 13-hour window of trading, of actual cash trading where markets are open, where you can pick your spot. Now that's great because as traders, if you're day trading looking for volatility, you go, right, I want to trade the open, I'm going to trade the close, I'm going to trade the open, I'm going to trade the close. You might get 4 spots to trade, or you might just trade one of them, but it fits around your lifestyle. So it's the perfect kind of time zone to trade. However, and this also applies for everyone else, guys, as well, but I'm just saying it from a European perspective because obviously that's what I'm familiar with. Often the problem is that we have this like lovely plan and we say, well, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to trade the open, then I'm going to do this, I'm going to analyze my trades, I'm going to do this and do that, and we plan it all the way through till 10 o'clock at night. And we then wonder why we end up giving profits back, let's say in the afternoon, or we wonder why we end up over trading because our focus can't sustain that. It's just a fact that we know that science and experiments have proven that even the best will, the focus drifts off. The focus dies off, and we get to this point where we have to manage our expectations with it and say, and this is the same for whatever time frame we're trading. It's managing your expectations, saying, okay, well, I can only really focus and be on my best performance for 2 hours at a time, and maybe 3 sessions. So 6 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2. For example, everyone's different. Some people might must do 4, some people must do 1, some must do 10 minutes. That's the point, is understanding what your sweet spot is and then allowing for that. Say, okay, well, if I'm very good at staying focused for 2 hours before I start to drift off, before I start to want some other stimulation, some other input, some kind of stretching, whatever, then When's the best time to trade? Well, okay, probably the opening 2 hours and then go. You know, and it's saying it's fitting your abilities around the market, not the other way around. Because the problem we have is, sometimes the difference between winning and losing in longer term. We try and do too much. We try and trade too many things. And I've talked about this before, guys. Trading too many things, too many time frames, too many setups, it doesn't work. And it's the same with this. If we're focused and we're putting it in line with our biology, for want of a better word, not to go too deep and too over the top with this, but it's amazing how the results then change, because we're really saying, well, I'm really good for 2 hours. So when can I put those 2 hours to the best use? Because if you don't do that and you say, well, I'm going to sit there anyway throughout the trade, then I've been there and done that, guys, and the performance has been fantastic when the times have been right and they've got the energy to do it. But generally speaking, I really am an advocate for, you know, the sprints. Like, it's okay, 2 hours. When am I going to best? Okay, that's probably going to be best in the overlap between the US session open and the club, whatever it may be. And then focusing solely on that. And allowing yourself to have the downtime so that you are in your peak performance state when the most likely chance of you getting a good setup is occurring at a specific time. So manage your focus expectations, guys. Slightly different video here, but I see lots of traders, and guys, I've made this mistake, and you know, if you're a subscriber, appreciate your subscription, by the way, and support, but you know, guys, that I talk from experience. I've made these mistakes, is why I share them with you. And I hear traders making the same mistake, and so I kind of offer this. I say, hey, this might help you, this might help you. They mention something, I then say, oh, that's great, and I'll do a video as well to help you guys. That's the whole point of it. And this, honestly, understanding what you're capable of and what you're best at are two different things. Yes, you might be capable of doing those 13-hour stretches for, you know, a week, but you're not going to be able to do it for 2 or 3 years. You're better off saying, okay, well, if I have to do it, I'll do it now and then, but my best focus is in that window. Where can I apply my very best pressure? It's like that pressure, isn't it, on a, you know, on some sort of point. If you apply it in the correct point, you're going to break through. If you're applying weak pressure and spreading it thinly, it's just not going to happen. It's that distinct pressure in the right point that's going to give you that breakthrough. Anyway, guys, I hope that's made sense for you. Managing your focus expectations, one specifically for you day traders who like to sit there in front of the screens. I know we all enjoy trading, but honestly, thinking about this, maybe taking some time to think about, you know, what's your best focus? How long do you focus? It's not a question that actually comes to mind straight away. You can't go, well, it's 43 minutes and 2 seconds. Not many of us can give that answer. So you might have to observe yourself for a little bit over the next week and say, well, you know what, I do start to get a little bit bored after this, or I do start to, my mind starts to wander. And of course, when your mind wanders, you see something, you trade it, you overtrade. So have a kind of assessment of yourself and try and work out what that focus window is when you're in the zone, when you start to drift out, and then use that as the kind of template to work around when the sweet spots are in the market. And I think you'll find some good results from it. Take care, guys, whatever you're doing. Bye-bye.